Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, it's December the 6th, 2016 on my calendar, which must be wrong. Because in actuality, based on a line the casino is posting today on a recently announced fight, it must actually be Christmas. This line is absurd. Before I get to that, let me give a plug to someone who reached out to me who has an excellent boxing site here online. He digs down a little bit deeper than I do in terms of what's happening behind the scenes in boxing. He has a excellent video up on the Nevada State Athletic Commission. It's user TravFD. It's TRAVFDY. Again, that's TRAVFDY, right? I like his videos. I feel I owe the YouTube community a lot. I want to help people here on YouTube blow up. I hope this guy blows up. You know, people making good videos should be recognized. Let me also thank Henry B. He knows who he is, for sending me a bunch of fight videos which have been invaluable. Let me also thank Mark Rand for the email he sent me. Much appreciated. Finally, somebody, Travis Williams, sent me a challenge flag because I give red cups and sometimes throw this challenge flag on people saying idiotic things in the world of boxing. Let me thank Travis Williams here as well. All right. You know what? You're not going to find, in my opinion, a better deal on the board, one man's opinion, than Wladimir Klitschko right now today, going off at a better than even money plus 110. You've got to be kidding me. When's the last time Wladimir Klitschko has been an underdog in a fight? This is ridiculous. Now let me say this. Some of you have ripped me for being too hard on young heavyweights, right? You know, people feel I'm unfair to Deontay Wilder. People feel I'm unfair to Anthony Joshua. Let me just point out the obvious, right? Neither of those guys is Tyson Fury, who's not that old himself, right? Here, I'm really trying to talk about talent. I'm not focused on a person's age. Several young guys have been advanced fighters at very young ages. Somebody look up Floyd Mayweather's career. You're going to find that Mayweather in his early 20s was already really one of the more established, more seasoned fighters in the sport, right? Mike Tyson's heyday was his early 20s. Trust me, I've lived through some heavyweight reigns of some very tough fighters who were younger. I don't have a bias against young fighters, but let's talk styles here first. If Klitschko and Anthony Joshua have slow rounds, right? Slow rounds. Who do you think is gonna win the slow rounds? I can tell you unequivocally that Wladimir Klitschko has one of the best jabs in boxing, right? One of the best jabs in boxing. So, I don't know how slow-moving Anthony Joshua in a slow round where the guys aren't going toe-to-toe and trading shot for shot. I don't know how Anthony Joshua wins those slow rounds. Folks, in the heavyweight division, many of the rounds are slow rounds, aren't they? Right? I think Wladimir Klitschko has a decided advantage during the slow rounds. Let me say this too. let's not confuse the fighters, right? Just like, you know, a Volkswagen's not a Porsche, right? If I see a Porsche win a race, that doesn't mean that every car is able to win a race against that opponent. That's the same thing with fighters. Now, I want to have people revisit Tyson Fury's victory over Wladimir Klitschko. Folks, Tyson Fury's moving around the ring in that fight, isn't he? Right? A lot of that fight has Fury on his back foot, doesn't it? Now let me challenge Joshua Nation. Please, in the comment section to this video, shut me up. Hey, I welcome being shut up. In the comment section to this video, please tell us the Anthony Joshua fight where he's moving around the ring like Tyson Fury moved around the ring against Wladimir Klitschko. Let me say, Joshua, in the few short months between now, it's December 2016, and when this fight is going to take place, is not going to change his center of gravity and start moving around the ring like Tyson Fury. He's just not. Tyson Fury doesn't beat Wladimir Klitschko without that movement. Doesn't come close. You don't do well against Wladimir Klitschko if you stand right in front of him. So to me, Tyson Fury, who went into that fight a prohibitive underdog, compare and contrast the odds in the Klitschko fight against Fury with the odds here. Tyson Fury goes in an underdog. Anthony Joshua is such a betting bubble that you mean to tell me I'm getting Wladimir Klitschko at better than even money odds? Let me slap myself because I can't believe that. That's a joke, right? Is the Anthony Joshua betting market this ridiculous? Please, can somebody just tell me in the comment section to this video how many years with a Y, years with a Y, before his loss to Tyson Fury, a fight that went the distance? How many years was it that Wladimir Klitschko was heavyweight champion? Folks, Wladimir Klitschko was heavyweight champion for more years than Anthony Joshua has had title fights. I mean, for me to say that Wladimir Klitschko has fought more quality competition is the equivalent of me saying water is wet, a week has 7 days. So I don't get this, right? If I were in a casino and someone said to me, hey, you're getting better than even money on Wladimir Klitschko, I would say, gee, who's he fighting? Vitaly? I mean, you know, if Lennox Lewis came back today, because Lennox would have some rust on him, okay, you know, I would expect Wladimir Klitschko to still be favored in that fight. But folks, it's a reach for anyone to believe that Anthony Joshua, right? Anthony Joshua is an all-time great. There are many people watching this video who really are thinking to themselves, well, if Lennox Lewis did fight Wladimir Klitschko in his prime and not in some movie, right? Ocean's 11 or whatever, right? If the two guys did fight prime against prime, what would the line be? Right? If you would get Wladimir Klitschko at plus 110 in that fight, then you'd be equating prime Lennox Lewis with Anthony Joshua. Right now, Anthony Joshua has a big punch. Great. Okay. fair enough. He has a big punch, right? Hasn't Wladimir Klitschko fought guys with big punches before? Let me say this too. Wladimir Klitschko crossed the Atlantic, took on a then unbeaten Brian Jennings in the United States and beat him. Understand, Klitschko is so experienced that he's traveled to foreign countries to beat the local fighter. Now here, he's supposed to travel to the UK to fight Anthony Joshua. We all know how the British press is, right? They're aggressive. Who do you think is going to be more dazed by the publicity of this fight? Wladimir Klitschko, who's already fought an unbeaten American in where? What was that? Madison Square Garden? Right? New York City? I'm guessing Wladimir Klitschko is going to show up and this is going to be just another big fight in the career of a guy who has had the belt for years. Years. Now think about the pressure, and I mean pressure, on Anthony Joshua. Here he is in against a guy who was a several year heavyweight champion. And his best opponent was who? Dominique Brazil? Come on. A faded Kevin Johnson? Charles Martin? Which one of those guys do you feel would survive against Wladimir Klitschko? So, man, I don't get it. My advice to you is to jump on this line early, right? All I have to hear is that Wladimir Klitschko is the underdog. You know what? I'm up on my feet trying to make the bet, right? There is a possibility. This possibility is out there that Eric Molina, who has fought some tough opponents, might actually show some holes in Joshua's game and might cause these odds to fluctuate. Right? Eric Molina was this close, folks. He was close. He was this close to knocking down Deontay Wilder. Don't kid yourself. I don't care about the cheesy smiles fighters have after fights and stuff like that. I don't care what Wilder says. There's some interviews I'm not even going to read. Wilder was badly hurt in that fight. Badly hurt at one point in that fight. Right? My point to you is simply, if Eric Molina lands any clean shots on Anthony Joshua, you're not going to get this great plus 110 line on Wladimir Klitschko that they're offering right now. That's a farce. Right? People are confusing Joshua, who, is hesitant. Isn't that the word? Doesn't open up, with a fluid Tyson Fury, who can go front foot against Derek Chisora, who can go back foot against Wladimir Klitschko, who can go righty, who can go lefty. I mean, come on. So I don't get it. Hey, I respect Dillian Whyte. When Dillian Whyte is one of the best heavyweights on your entire resume, you shouldn't be a favorite against Wladimir Klitschko. Folks, look, I like the new guys in the sport. I like the fact that the torch has been passed from one generation to the next in the heavyweight division. But betting's about gravity and reality, right? Anthony Joshua doesn't have the jab Wladimir Klitschko has. It's an open question on who hits harder, Klitschko or Joshua. Klitschko went more rounds in his last fight than Anthony Joshua has gone in any of his fights as a professional. As I said, If you go back through heavyweight history and you're looking at a prime Lennox Lewis or you're looking at a prime Wladimir Klitschko, I know some of you feel Vladimir beats Vitaly, right? You're looking at a prime Larry Holmes. You're looking at boxing royalty. And you're wondering, gee, in any of those fights against Wladimir Klitschko, would Wladimir Klitschko be a plus 110? Right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe Vladimir's the underdog. Maybe he's a plus 120 or a plus 130. All I'm saying is, come on. Think about the present. Is Anthony Joshua now in his career at the point where a prime Larry Holmes is, or a prime Lennox Lewis? Come on. Come on. So, all I'm saying is this, and I'm serious about this. There's certain things that you hear where as soon as you hear it, you have to get up and act on it. Right? They're telling you that Wladimir Klitschko is the underdog against Anthony Joshua. Let me stand up and go make my bet. I mean, seriously, that's ridiculous. To me, it's Christmas on December the 6th, 2016. Right? There is a possibility that Joshua lands early on Molina and these odds fluctuate further. Right? Who knows? Maybe Wladimir Klitschko jumps to a plus 150. But my point to you is, when you hear that Wladimir Klitschko is the underdog to someone as green as Anthony Joshua, who hasn't fought, let's talk about today's contenders, right? He hasn't fought Kubrat Pulev. Wladimir Klitschko stopped Kubrat Pulev. Stopped him. Right? When you're just looking around at the contenders out there. David Haye. Right? David Haye believes he finishes Joshua inside of 3 rounds. Let's just say Wladimir Klitschko beat David Haye. Fought him, beat him. Right? Dare I say Anthony Joshua has not fought anyone in the area code of David Haye's ability. Right? So when you look at a gap like that in experience, and when you look at the fact that Wladimir Klitschko's game really hasn't fallen off. He just lost to a better fighter in Tyson Fury. He hasn't had a string of fights where we're thinking, gee, what happened to Wladimir Klitschko? Right? He's still on top of the world. He just has a problem against a guy who's masterful on his back foot, who's also ambidextrous. Right? Now, understand, Anthony Joshua is not going to be on his back foot and ambidextrous in 4 months, folks, or 5 months. He's just not. Right? Let me say this too. How are the people watching this video so certain that this fight goes the distance? Anthony Joshua's never gone the distance in a 12-round professional fight. You think his first time is going to be against Wladimir Klitschko? Good luck with that. I don't, the fight might be in the UK. I'm not sure if the judges will be a factor in this fight. I really am not. Maybe Joshua gets lucky and gets the KO. More power to him. Right? More power to him. Keep in mind, since I'm getting better than even money odds on Wladimir Klitschko, I can hedge the play with Joshua by KO. Right? But if Joshua doesn't get the KO, would you want to be him in the later rounds of a fight against Wladimir Klitschko, who's coming off of a loss against Tyson Fury and who has a point to prove? So, yeah. This line's ridiculous. Wladimir Klitschko as an underdog, you gotta be kidding. I'm expecting Santa to come down my chimney in the next 5 minutes. That's how ridiculous it is. right? I'm starting to wonder what was in my drink last night before I went to bed. Anyway, I like Wladimir Klitschko in this matchup. The odds allow it. Go ahead and hedge to play with... Excuse me, I like Wladimir Klitschko in this matchup. Right, Wladimir Klitschko. Let me be clear here. Maybe something was in my drink. Anyway, I like Wladimir Klitschko here. The odds allow you to hedge it with Joshua by KO. My recommendation is to run and grab these odds now. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. I hope you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.